Stocks go rallying to the moon today as they try to make an attempt to fill the gap. However, I got a warning for you guys. The stock market crash is not over. Yes, we're likely going to get a retracement on the way back up, but if we look at the fear and greed index, we are still in extreme fear territory. This could be a case like the wise man Warren Buffett once said, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. When we look at the investor sentiment survey, we've seen the bullish sentiment actually drop, and look at the bearish sentiment. This is one of the biggest jumps in bearish sentiment that I've seen in quite some time when we look at this report. And then let's not forget, JP Morgan raises odds of US recession by year end to 35%. Now, we all know the economy is slowing down. It is evident. We see stocks like Disney come cratering lower as the theme park business, aka people getting out, just simply are not doing as good as they once were. We look at Airbnb. After they came out with earnings, what do we see? A massive drop in the stock. And we've seen several stocks out there absolutely getting decimated. However, Jamie Dimon also said investors overreacted and recession odds remain about the same. Well, I don't know if that is true or not. All right. I still think there is problems out there. We've been saying this for quite some time. We still have not been seeing headlines lately about the commercial real estate market. And speaking of commercial real estate, we take a look at KRE from the highs down towards the recent lows. We can see KRE dropped about 15%. Now, keep in mind, we still have this high volume area right down around this area. We're going to see, will KRE start to work its way back down towards that area? Now, it's not surprising that we're starting to get a bounce in the markets. However, I still want to warn you guys, we still have problems out there. Look at Intel stock absolutely getting crushed. And if we look at this article right here, Intel CEO bought stock after sell-off. That's not the signal that you may think. Now, normally when you see insiders buying a stock, you say, you know what? If the insiders are buying, that must be a good sign. Is this a buying opportunity? Let me jump in. Let me go ahead and ride their coattails, as they are typically more informed than us simple peon retail investors. However, what the article also goes on to say, and this is, the devil's in the detail, is he purchased $250,000 worth of stock on Monday. However, that's been his pattern. He has bought 12 consecutive quarters after the earnings have come out, regardless if the earnings were good or if the earnings were bad. This time, well, he actually got to buy the stock on a little bit of a sale, so good for him. But the fact that he is willing to buy, that means that he still believes in the company, which to me is still a good sign. Then as we come over and look at how the indices fared today, the Dow was up 683 points. The NASDAQ was up 464 points. S&P 500 was up 119 points. Russell 2000 up 4.85 points. Now today we saw advancing issues well outpacing decliners, where advancing issues were 76.3% versus declining at 21%. Now, when we look at the sectors across the board, everything was in the green. Green. No red was allowed today. However, is that a problem? Should we be concerned? When we come out here and we look at this chart right here, look at the ES, right? Where are we at? We're right near the upper part of basically what could be a lower level consolidation. Now, do we get the breakout, or does it make more sense that we're going to start to come a little bit lower before ultimately trying to go up higher? Or are we going to still come down and try to eat that big order, in which we talked about in this morning's video? Now, when we look at the small caps today up 2.41%. But look, all intents and purposes, if we look at the candle, basically an inside day where the low was higher than the low from the prior day. The high was lower than the high from the prior day, which really sets the stage that tomorrow could be a breakout or breakdown from this pattern. That is normally what we see. Then we come over and we look at the diamonds. The diamonds today actually were able to break above the prior day's high, and the diamonds were up 1.76%. But keep in mind, we do have these gaps above us. But one thing that we do want to pay attention to as well is if we pull a Fibonacci retracement from the swing high right down here to the swing low, you can see we're right near the 38% retracement, which is where we got to before we got, knee jerked back down in the afternoon session. Now the question is, are we going to make it up towards the 50 or even 61.8 level? If so, that would actually go ahead and take out the gap right over here. Was a big driving factor in the markets today. It was basically the unemployment claims came in at 233,000. They were forecasted 241,000. And previously it was at 250,000. So that kind of eased people's concerns that the labor market was just simply falling apart. And then today at 101, we also had the bond auction. Market was speaking at 3. And then tomorrow we have no major economic news out here to contend with. However, there is still problems brewing. Last night we were talking about this, and this is one of my concerns in terms of wanting to be long the markets, especially in the Asia markets. Now, in case you guys don't know, I do stream live Monday through Thursday, 8:45 p.m. So if you guys would like to join me, make sure you're subscribed and you have the bell notifications turned on for all. But essentially, U.S. warns Iran of serious risk if it conducts major attack on Israel. Iran has already put out major warnings that they are going to go ahead and move forward with revenge for what Israel's involvement was with taking out the Hamas leader. However, when we go ahead and we scroll down, this makes me feel a little bit better, and I may go ahead and link all the 20 Apex accounts along with the MFF accounts tonight, as what I read in this article puts me a little bit at ease in terms of trading the Asia markets tonight. And it was basically boils down to this article right here. Now, it doesn't mean they're right, but based on the latest intelligence, officials think a response, if it happens, may now occur over the weekend. Woo, at least when the stock market is closed. If you guys joined me during that one live stream, it was an absolute mess out there when Israel went on the offensive. I want to make everybody aware, Apex 7 a massive 80% sale off all their valuation accounts, passed in as little as 1 day, and you can also get a 150K account for only $40. You can get a 250K account for only $40, and you get a 300K account for only $40. So if you want to take advantage of this offer, use the link in the description box down below and use the promo code Mike at checkout. We come over and look at the QQQs today, up 3.06%, and we were one tick away from matching the prior day's high. So for all intents and purposes, this is still an inside day, similar to what we talked about with the IWM, but this one is very, very close. We come over this and we look at the 4-hour chart, and we learned about this over the last couple of videos that looked like the MACD indicator was trying to firm up. And now we actually got a bullish cross on the 4-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, you can see we're making a beeline where right towards the zero line. And we do have a good separation of the lines, but this is where it's also dangerous. Why? Because now we're right near a swing point. So if indeed the market cannot push out of this area, the MACD indicator is right near the zero line and starts to roll over, that could be exactly what some of the bears are looking for, to take the markets right back down for a minimum retest of the lows that we saw on Monday. Then when we look at the 30-minute charts, notice the MACD indicator now is above the zero line. We do have a good cross between the two lines. However, we can see that consolidation that has been built up. Now this morning we dipped below value area low. Then what do? We came back up. So from that point on, you knew you need to be on the buy side of the market, and we made it all the way up towards the point of control. We almost made it to value area high. It was very, very close. But when we come over and look at the futures markets, notice this could have been nothing more than a trap. Meaning we had what looked like a bull flag pattern. They slam it down, breaking the trend right here, then regaining it, and now trying to make a move back up higher. Now, if indeed we're going to be able to take out this recent high, one of the things we want to do is grab our Fibonacci extension tool. We want to measure the A to B leg, the B to C leg is a corrective leg, and project up here for D. And I love where the completion of this leg is, 18,956, which is where very close to last week's point of control. And let's not forget, we still have this high probability target of last week's value area low that should get tested either this week or next week. And this week, we only have one trading day left. Then we come over and look at the daily profiles. Notice what we did. I warned about this in the 5 o'clock video last night. We talked about this on stream, but essentially we had value area low. We closed below it. I said, watch out within the next 1 to 2 days. Highly probable we test that area. And that's one of the reasons I was favoring the long trades last night. Now look at today, just a rocket ship on the way up. Once we had that jobs numbers come out, just whoop, all the way up all day long, we were able to take out yesterday's untested point of control. We actually tested yesterday's value area high. Now, if we look at the current value area high from today, 18,555.25 will be value area high. The point of control will be 18,396.75. Value area low will come in at 18,198.75. Now, since we are right near a prior swing point, one of the things I want to do is, as long as we're below value area high, I do want to make a run, see if we can test this point of control, but I do want to be mindful in between these minus development areas. The market could give us a head fake, come down, boom, and just reject right back out. So we want to be very mindful of that. If we start breaking the point of control, then my focus will be down here towards value area low. Then as we come over, look at the SPY today basically had an inside day, but we closed near the high of this session. That is something we have not been seeing for quite some time. And if we look, where are we coming up to? All right, we have a minus development right up here at 537.14. That would also get us into the secondary gap, and it would also fill the gap that we had out here on Monday. MACD indicator, you can see it's trying to hook and maybe trying to firm up here just a bit. On the 4-hour chart, MACD indicator just about to give us a bullish cross. And one thing I do want to mark off on this chart, we want to go ahead and mark off the A to B, equals CDD pattern. That gives us a price projection of 539.47. That puts us where? Right into the gap, right on the edge of this high volume area on the composite profile as well. Then on the 1 hour chart, you can see the MACD indicator lines have a good separation, but if indeed we cannot push up and out of this area, that is going to become a problem at some point. Then we look out here at the 30-minute chart. Notice what we did today. This morning, we opened up within value, and then we made a push all the way up the value area high, and then we basically held right above that area, and then we made a late day push towards the end. As we come over and look at the futures markets, well, today we had that knee jerk on the way back down, and notice where we came to. I warned about this in last night's video. We came where? Right to the minus development area. We almost hit the high volume area on the composite profile. And we talked about this in last night's 5 o'clock video. So now the question is, do we have all systems clear to go ahead and make it to the weekly value area low that is still untested? That's an area I most certainly am going to want to focus on out here, if indeed we can break this recent swing high. Then as we come down and we look at this on the 30-minute charts, notice what we see. All right, we kind of had this wide consolidation range, and today's range was 178 points. So from the low all the way up to the high, 178 points. So in these wider ranges, it makes it a lot easier to snag a couple ticks here and there versus when we have very tight ranges. Now, as we look at this, think about this, right? Just straight move on the way up. And one of the things I want to focus on tonight is if we start to see pullbacks in the market, this high volume area right here could be a target location. But I also want to look right here near the minus development areas on the profile, as this could be rejection areas in the market. And the one way down here really has my attention. All right. Basically somewhere in the ballpark of 52.39 up here to about 52.56. Now, notice value area high is all the way up here at 53.60.25. Today's point of control is 53.44.00. Value area low will be 52.86.00. Now, normally I say I want to see a push above value area high. Then I want to play it on the way back down if I want to get short. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say as long as we are below value area high, I want to try to target that point of control. Then I want to look, do we get a rejection as the market comes back into this minus development area, or can we make it all the way down towards the target location right here, right about 53.20 or so? We breach that. Then we're coming down towards the next minus development area, then all the way down here to the very large minus development area down below us. Now, I still would not rule out the case that at some point we're going to come back and try to flush the lows from Monday. Now, the question is, will it be on Friday, or is it going to be held off for the coming weeks ahead? Now, if you guys like to learn, is Apex a scam? Is Apex still paying out its traders? Make sure to watch this video right here.